What's happening, everybody? Welcome back. This is Neil, and this is some video footage that the shop sent me as far as what they're doing to the bike and the process by which they are taking this thing apart. So that'd be kind of fun to share with you guys. This is going to be kind of sped up compared to what it was before. So let's take off and let them go. So they're pretty much just, taking off everything off the motorcycle because we got to get to that engine. We got to get to that motor and get that baby out of there. Now, the funny thing about this motorcycle that I noticed is it doesn't have like a frame that goes under the motor. The motor's actually mounted on the top right-hand side and on a bottom where it just comes out from the bottom, right? Usually on a lot of motorcycles, there's a frame underneath. And as you guys can see, you'll be able to pop that motorcycle out. They'll just be able to drop it to the ground if they take off some nuts and bolts. So you just see it kind of sitting there free-flowing as they take this thing apart. And you'll see it laying on the ground here in a little bit, as in a moment. But I thought this was really cool that they sent this to me. And then now you guys can see how this thing looks, right? Just sitting on the ground. That's the actual engine of the motorcycle. Now, this is a 150cc bike. You guys can see how it just plops from the bottom. And then we get into this speeded up animation of them taking apart the motor. And I really thought this was cool that they sent this to me and showed this to me. And I didn't know if I want to start off the video showing you guys this or where I'm actually at the shop. But right now I'm just editing in my voice as you guys are watching this portion of the video. But wow, I mean, I just thought this was really, really cool. I am somebody that is somewhat mechanically inclined. It's been quite a few years since I've been into this, but I thought this was really, really cool that they're showing exactly everything that they're doing, guys. It really proves that they're legit. And so we're going to jump into the shop and get at it. And I want to give you guys an update on what's going on with my bike. As you guys can see, it is completely torn down. And whether I showed you that before I started this video or at the end, I'll show you guys exactly, the entire process of them doing it. It's going to be kind of sped up, but you'll get to see the process of them taking all this thing off. I mean, she's pretty much bare bone. Not a whole lot left to her. So we're going to walk over in the shop here and see what these guys are actually doing. And I'm going to show you guys exactly what they're doing to the bike, right? How we're actually changing this thing and trying to add as much power as possible. So one thing that we're changing is we're going to be changing the camshaft here. This baby's going to add quite a bit of power along with the new crankshaft that's put into this thing. We're changing the piston, the connecting rod here, that little gold looking shaft right there. All right. We have a cylinder block that we're going to be putting on. We're going to change the CC from 150 to 200. And then if we come over here, you guys can see that we have a cylinder head here that we're going to put on. She's going to get new valves. So with a new valve setup, new valve springs, new carburetor, new camshaft, all these things are really going to make a huge, huge difference in the amount of power that the motorcycle will have. Nice, man, nice. And I came here right at the right moment where these guys are trying to install all of this. They're trying to put it all together, which is pretty damn cool. Hopefully after another week or so, we will be queuing up some riding. All right. There we go. There we go. So right now they're checking the displacement between the rings and the piston, I believe, or between the piston and the cylinder block is what they're actually doing. So that way they can, get this thing fine-tuned in the very end. Some troubleshooting is actually kind of what they're doing right now. But one thing about a smaller motor is you can actually use a screwdriver like this to put it on a stand and actually hold it up. You don't have to worry about it falling over because these things are so light. But yeah, man, I'm really, really excited, man. Coming over here and seeing all this, watching these guys perform their magic. Oh yeah, I mean, you can see this thing is torn down. These are all my motorcycle parts. Right here's the good old alternator, which is pretty sweet. Right, nice, and gears for transmission parts and so on here. We don't need to get any real details about it. I just wanted to share with you guys what they're exactly doing, I mean, so new camshaft, new crankshaft, new valve springs, new cylinder heads, cylinder block we're putting on, new carburetor over there. And we got some other things that we're going to be doing to the bike as well. But as far as the motor, that's pretty much about it. We're also going to be changing the
clutch on the bike as well. We're going to be slapping in a racing clutch on this thing. Help it stick a little bit better, grab a little bit better through those gears. That's going to be really, really nice. And I am considering doing some other things to the bike that might aid. I don't really know if I'm going to do it or not, but when we walk over to the bike, one thing I thought about doing was lowering this machine. Now, one thing that sucks about lowering a bike like this is, I mean, the good thing is it will handle better. It'll look cooler, it'll handle better. But the bad thing is, whenever they lower these bikes, they'll take this triple tree here and they'll drop it down on the fork. They'll slide it down on the fork here a little bit. And so what happens is you have a piece at the top that's about that tall, right? Depending on how much you lower it, depends on how much is going to be sticking out. And it just looks really awkward. Now, these guys can actually CNC or actually cut those things, not CNC, but they can actually cut it off and level it off just like it looks right now and make it look factory after it's lowered. But it actually devalues the bike. But, you know, honestly, I really don't care because everything that I'm doing right now devalues it anyways, so I'm not really too worried about it. And I also thought about changing the swing arm of this bike. This is the swing arm right here. This is what I'm thinking about changing, right? Also, the brake calipers, thinking about changing these babies as well because these are just factory brake calipers. And if the bike's going to go faster, I want to be able to stop faster. That's really, really important. I mean, your safety is the most important thing. If you're going to start increasing speed of something, you definitely want to find a way to make the thing stop a whole lot faster. And you guys can take a look here. There's a different swing arm over here. Now, this is just one they have. They can actually probably have one CNC machine for me. Actually, a CNC one at billet aluminum like so right here, which would be pretty cool. But this is an entire swing arm that I could actually put on my bike. I could even put a swing arm that actually extends out a little bit more. And if you do that, if you have an extended swing arm, if that swing arm is out a little bit more, what it does is it keeps the bike from wanting to wheelie, right? You'll have a better get up and go because it won't want to wheelie and actually be a lot less dangerous, especially for someone like me that's got a bit of a heavy hand, if you know what I mean. I get a little crazy sometimes. So it'd be really nice to have a little extra safety. Lowering the bike is up in the air for me because I don't really know if I want to do it because here in Ho Chi Minh City, there's a lot of potholes. There's a lot of times you might climb over a little, ledge or something, and I might scrape the bottom of the bike, and I really don't want to do that. I have no interest. So I might just leave it the way it is. I'm also thinking about changing my brake levers here as well and removing these mirrors. These mirrors are just, they look like rabbit ears on this motorcycle, and you can actually replace these things, get rid of them, take these bolts out here and take it completely off. And then what you can do is you can actually put these little side mirrors on your grips here, and they just stick out right here. So you have this nice, more smooth looking look for the bike. So that's something else that I'm actually considering doing. I mean, it's really limitless, guys, what you can do. Also, I'm thinking about changing my rims here, the rims themselves, because I don't really like the factory rims. I thought about changing them, but we'll see as far as, all that goes. But, let's run back in here and take a look at what old boys are doing as far as the motor. I imagine they're pretty much still playing with the same things. But, looky, 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 looky. All right. So right now they're trying to figure out the displacement between the piston and the cylinder block is what they're actually doing right here to make sure this baby is perfectly set up and aligned. This is nice. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I know a bit about this kind of stuff, but I've been out of the loop in mechanic world for quite some time, and so I don't remember exactly everything. This is to balance them, right? This is to balance this is to have, they're going to spin this and see, they're seeing how much compression's in this thing. Okay. All right, guys, so, all right, I just figured it out. So I don't want to come over here because we've got a camera over here, but this gauge here is actually showing how much compression they're going to have whenever they spin the crankshaft with the piston inside it. That's actually pretty cool. So they get to see exactly how much compression this baby has, which is nice. So I was wrong about my displacement theory earlier. They're actually checking compression, which is awesome, very fortunate. really thorough, man. I'm really impressed with the shop and what they're doing here. I mean, these guys really take this very seriously, and it's pretty awesome, man. Scroll over here a little bit. You can see they're checking the compression right there. You can see the gauge actually moving around while they're spinning this crankshaft. Really, really cool. And there's other things that are actually in play here, guys. I mean, there's all kinds of degrees and numbers all over this thing. I don't even remember what this is called. But they're just trying to get everything perfectly fine-tuned on this baby, which is pretty cool. And the fact that these guys are so comfortable with me filming this is pretty awesome. I have to say, I'm pretty impressed with that. I mean, they don't, that's one thing about these people in general, is they don't really pay attention or worry about anything that's really going on around them. They just focus on their job, what they're doing, which is really the way it should be. That's pretty damn lit. Oh yeah, getting this baby all set up. Man, I tell you what, I know a lot of gearheads that'd be loving this kind of stuff. They would be loving this kind of stuff. I mean, it's been about 20 years since I actually worked on anything myself as far as mechanics. I mean, it's been a long time, so I'm very, very rusty as far as my knowledge on the mechanic world and what they're exactly doing. But they're getting this baby all set up, right? I couldn't tell you my compression ratio. I don't even really know what it is. But I'll probably find out later on after they finish this thing up. Here we go. Nice. Ooh, okay. Really cool. I mean, this bike's gonna scream after all this, man. I mean, seriously, when you do this kind of job, when you change all these kinds of parts, you're really, like, we're gonna be jumping up the power, something fierce on this set. Something fierce, sorry about the camera there. Something fierce, we're gonna be really bumping up the power, man. I really like the shop and the layout of the shop. It's actually pretty nice. But man, big shout out to these guys for really taking so much effort into doing a good job and trying to make this thing exactly perfect. Very, very happy. I'm gonna go ahead and move over here. Let this young lady sit down because she's got a little one on the way. Want to say hello? This young lady's been helping me out tremendously, translating everything for me. She's been a huge help as far as, you know, figuring out what we need to do with the bike and what we're going to be doing. So it's pretty awesome, man. Big thank you to her. And the cool thing is she actually even knows something about mechanics, which is actually pretty cool. But yeah, a week from now, this will all be finished. Maybe we'll be doing some other things to the bike itself. I don't know yet what I'll be doing. I mean, I'll let you guys know some of the ideas that I have, but it all depends on how much money and how much time, you know. Right now I'm using a loaner motorcycle, not even a motorcycle, a motor bike as they like to call it. And I pretty much hate the damn thing, but it's well worth it if we get my bike in spick and span speedometer shape, right? Speedometer not even being a word, but we're trying to get this thing all lit up, man. So we'll see, guys, how it's going to go in the future. But man, I'll tell you what, I am really, really impressed with what I'm going. You guys can see all my fairings and everything are sitting over there. It's really nice that they hang it up. They keep it off the floor. That's nice. Very professional. Good job, guys. That's amazing, man. Really happy I went to this shop, even though this shop's like 30 minutes away from my house. Very, very happy with what they're doing. I cannot stress it enough. I cannot stress how impressed I am with watching this. And these guys guarantee this work. You know, after it's done, they guarantee it. You know, if I'm gonna have any problems, I'm gonna get reimbursed. They're gonna take care of me. So that's another thing that's pretty damn awesome about doing this, because anytime you do this in depth of a job to a motor, you run high risk of having some problems. I mean, for sure. So the fact that they guarantee their work, the fact that they're so confident in what they do, really, really helped me decide to go ahead and do this. So guys, I'm just gonna leave it at that, man. I will probably next time be just riding the motorcycle, and we'll see just what kind of difference it's going to be. Maybe we'll have some of those upgrades on the bike, but I just want to say, you know, thank you to this shop for doing this for me. And thank you to all of you for watching the video. And guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you for watching. Y'all take care and have a good one. Bye everyone. See you later.